Hey everybody, this is Charles Cook here at Cook Baxter Immigration. Great to be with you today. Um, I want to talk today about immigration in the Reconciliation Bill. You know, Greg and I talked about this on Monday night. Some things have happened since then, I think, bring a little more clarity. First of all, this Plan C that's in the Reconciliation Bill, it's like kissing your sister, I guess, if you're from too much in the South. You don't really want to do it. It's not really the immigration provisions you want. It doesn't really fix anything indirectly. Indirectly, it fixes something, but it directly doesn't fix anything. And it's an example of Congress kicking the can down the road and not really having a solution to the problem. So we got a parole provision that says, hey, if you came before January 1, 2011, awesome for you. You get a parole. Here's your work permit. Here's your travel document. Now, that parole can then be used if you have an immediate relative, if you've got a spouse, parent, or child who's a U.S. citizen, to sponsor you, and you get a green card. I mean, there's ways forward, and millions will get green cards through this. You probably will not be able to use it for employment immigration. You'll be able to work, however. You'll be able to travel. So there is that. I mean, it's something. It's not everything. It's something. And then, of course, you have the visa recapture for diversity visas, for immigrant visas. You've got them no longer shuttling visas back between family and employment. They just stay right in line. They just come the next year again. Which is probably fair in a lot of ways. But that's really don't forget, they're raising the fees. That's actually something I really don't like about this bill, is the massive, and I'm talking about massive increase in fees, or surcharges, or you could call them taxes, on immigrants. That they're going to make a lot of these processes very expensive for employers and employees and for family members. It's not good. It's the money grab is not good. And there's an example of the poor and terrible management at USCIS once again being rewarded for their own incompetence and inability to manage their way out of a wet paper bag. So that's in the bill, but of course there's been no vote on it, right? It's been a vote. We voted to have a vote. All right, so they voted to have a vote. But 6 Democrats who wouldn't vote for it. They wouldn't pass it. Otherwise, we wouldn't be having this conversation. We'd be having a different conversation. This conversation is 6 Democrats said, okay, we'll vote for it if the White House's promise to us that the bill is completely paid for is true. Really? Now you want the truth from the White House? And so there was a very influential economic forecast out of Wharton School, Donald Trump's alma mater, out of the Wharton School saying, yeah, this bill's not paid for. But they're waiting for the official CBO score, CBO, Congressional Budget Office, which scores bills for their economic truthfulness and cost, said that by the end of this week, they will have most of the score done, but not all of it. And they would get more of it when they do. And they don't have a date on that. So for those of you that were expecting a vote in the House next week, I think that hope is misplaced. Because these 6 Dems, and I'm not going to name them, nor am I going to give your email addresses or their phone numbers. These 6 Dems, they're easily findable online, by the way, saying, no, I won't vote for it, which it's extraordinarily selfish, because really one of the main reasons you got elected is because the party brought you to this dance. It's, once again, the mind thinking that they're great. It's the Joe Manchin syndrome, right? They're greater than the party. And so a lot of Republicans think this way too, right? They're greater than the party. Ask MTG up here in Georgia. She's greater than the party. So we may get the House voting on this, and it may or it may not pass. It may not pass the House. Okay, so let's say all the ducks line up. Everything lines up and it passes the House because it's fully paid for. And, the tax break wasn't fully paid for, and Republicans voted for that. Right? That actually costed us $2 trillion. And whatever, vote for it. It'll be fine. And the fact that this bill over 10 years, they can't score to pay for it. I mean, at this point, what difference does it make? So you've got, then it goes to the Senate. And the immigration provisions are not a problem from what we can tell, and public statements by Manchin and Sinema. They're like, okay, whatever. I don't think either one of them cares about the immigration stuff. It's not a deal breaker for them. At least for Manchin, it's about the budget, which is hilarious because he didn't care about the budget for the last 20 years. He cared about the budget. And is the budget balanced? I mean, it's never been, federal government budget has never been balanced. And it's tragic that we have to put immigration, which is a clearly and well-established clear economic gain for the United States, in with a bill that's got things some people like, people don't like. We got to drag that along. If you could have individual votes on individual votes and you couldn't block votes, immigration stuff would pass. It would pass with a majority in the House. I think it easily would pass with a majority in the Senate. Republicans would vote for a lot of this stuff if they were just voting on single issues. But that's the problem, is you don't vote on single issues. They used to back in the day. Clean Water Act, things like that. Civil Rights Act. They used to vote on things. They don't vote on things anymore. They vote to name post offices. They vote to name National Day of Recognition for the elm tree. I mean, they don't vote on important stuff in standing by itself. So kind of where you are on this. So will the ultimate answer to the question, will we see an immigration provision in the reconciliation bill? Now, don't forget one more thing. In order to be in the Senate version of the reconciliation bill, here's what if long as it passes the House, they're going to ask the parliamentarian. Somebody's going to say, "Miss Parliamentarian, is this provision properly in this bill?" And she'll say, "No, it's not properly in this bill." But because the provision will be coming from the House, it will have to be taken out. In order to take a provision out of a bill, there has to be an objection on the floor. So let's say a Republican objects to it. And then it requires 60 votes to take it out of the bill. Are there 60 votes to take immigration out of this bill? There's not. Now, does that mean that Joe Manchin would then vote against the bill? I don't think so. I don't think Manchin would vote against the bill for that. They could vote against for other reasons, but not for that. So I still think that my prediction of there being a 30% chance of immigration of any kind being in the reconciliation bill is probably pretty accurate. Now, keep in mind, if they end up keeping, for example, the recapture numbers, but getting rid of parole, a whole bunch of Democrats vote against the bill. I mean, so understand that's reality. So that's kind of where we are on that immigration bill. There's really not much else going on. A big settlement. Our friends at WASD and Benny has just settled with the government on the H4 EAD litigation and L2 litigation, because L2s don't need degrees and EADs. And I've been telling clients that for years. Yes, they do. No, they don't. And immigration just agreed. No, they don't. And so L2s from now on will not need an EAD. They just go to work, just like their spouses do on the L1. H4s will be automatically extended for 180 days. Hopefully, I read the settlement. I didn't see any promise in there that they would be doing adjudications within 6 months, because what's good is a 180-day extension if it takes them a year to do an extension. That doesn't make any sense, right? So that's kind of where that's a good settlement. Great for you guys. Our new lawsuit is now filed for adjustment of status EADs and E2 EADs. E2, once again, arguing E2 is incident to status. You don't need an EAD. As a spouse of an E2, you can just work. And we're going to win that. And the AOS delay, a year is too long. You can't take a year and adjudicate an EAD. It's just too important. It's too important to benefit. And it's hilarious, especially in the context of the government, the number 2 person at USA saying, all these people have valid EADs. What do they care if they get a green card or not? So it's that lawsuit's been filed. Served the government today. Clock is running. Government has 60 days to respond. We haven't decided whether we're going to file a preliminary injunction yet. I'm not sure it's necessary at this point because we now hopefully have an open line to the Immigration Service with this other settlement to begin talking with the government about getting this done the right way. Maybe the time has come for USCIS and DHS to use the lawsuits filed against it to fix their policies appropriately. It's easier for them in litigation context. So kind of exciting that that's going on. We are also adding plaintiffs. So if you're an adjustment status EAD applicant and been pending for a year, sign up on our waiting list. This is the waiting list that you can go to. I'm going to put it up right here. This is the waiting list. You can go in on our friend Greg Siskin's site and put your name in on the EAD litigation. And we'll be adding people in the next 2 weeks. So you're welcome to join us. Because one thing we know, plaintiffs get benefits first. And that happened in the DV case. That happened in all our DV cases. Happened in all our other cases. Plaintiffs get benefits first and become a plaintiff and be counted with those that stand for truth and justice. I will tell you that we're looking at the issue of DV 2022. DV 2022 is going on right now, and near as we can tell, I haven't seen any real adjudication. I don't think our friends at CEAC Statistics, taking a look over here on my other calendar here to see if they've got any numbers for fiscal year visas for October's not up yet, so we don't have that. We do have the folks over at DV Charts. They have not updated for DV 2022 yet. So we have no data on DV 2022, but anecdotally, it's quite clear that nobody's getting approved. I think I know of one person that had an interview like October 1 for some reason. I don't know anybody else that had an interview. So we will be suing them. Department of State, we will be suing you in January. And that's a good thing. Also, do want to shout out to our friend Curtis Morrison and his colleagues who had oral argument today on their case trying to get rid of the F2A basically ban because of the prioritization. That's an illegal prioritization. Judge Mehta already ruled once it was an illegal prioritization. The Department said there's no right to prioritize visas. They're supposed to do them all. That's their job. Figure it out. And they apparently had a really good oral argument today. So kudos to those guys, Rafa and Curtis. Great job, gentlemen. Great job. So let's take a look at some questions here today. See what we got. We've got Melina from Algeria. I hope things are well in Algeria. I hope they're good. At least you're not Ethiopia. That's a good thing. You don't want to be Ethiopia right now. Adolfo Solís, buenas tardes, abogado. Quisiera saber si se puede acelerar el proceso con esta administración. Mi hermano me pidió en 2006, soy mexicano, o si se puedo arreglar para otro lado. Tengo viviendo 12 años y estoy pagando mis impuestos. Well, no puede apurar la línea de hermanos. La línea es la línea. Se mueve cuando mueve. No hay control sobre esto. Hay otros modos de emigrar. Si usted tiene esposa o padres que son residentes o ciudadanos, hay perdones disponibles, empleadores te pueden pedir, llámame y tendremos una conversación sobre las oportunidades de inmigración por medio de empleo si tiene la habilidad de pedir un perdón en el caso. También yo quise añadir una nota que vamos a tener una charla inmigratoria por mis amigos peruanos el 23 de noviembre. Voy a poner una nota aquí. Aquí está, charla inmigratoria por peruanos el 23 de noviembre. Tendremos una charla por empresarios y una charla por los que quieren inmigrar, además de empresarios, online por Zoom. Now, la próxima semana no me van a ver. Me voy a estar de vacaciones en mi amado Perú. Estaré ahí visitando a algunos amigos y gozando la mejor comida del mundo y la clima y la gente y, teniendo otra vez la experiencia peruana. Y de ahí tendremos una charla por peruanos, específicamente de las opciones que tienen y contestando sus preguntas y ofreciendo oportunidades por citas después. Pero eso sería un placer el noviembre 23. All right, Irina Sylvan, go. Can plaintiffs communicate with the KCC and consulate now, or better to wait till December? Irina, you can email them. They're going to ignore your emails. They're not doing anything. As you know, they announced they're going to appeal the Good Luck case. It would be shocking if they don't appeal the Go case. The same basic case. So you can contact the KCC all you want. It's probably just an exercise in futility, however. Glenn Newman Garage. Now, that's a great name. Glenn Newman Garage. What does the new bill mean towards EB3? No, it does not. Well, that's a good question. All right. So as I said, the new bill, the reconciliation bill, is a visa recapture. So remember that we tried to get them to save those 80,000 visas. They said, screw you. We don't care about them. All those visas come back. They get added back into EB3. And keep in mind, any EB3 numbers that get increased have to go to Indian nationals. They have to. That's where they have to go because they have to take the oldest cases first, and they're all Indian. So it would extraordinarily help the timeline. But here's the deal. Right now, in order to use the 290,000 visas that USCIS has for fiscal year 2022, they have to be adjudicating somewhere in the neighborhood of 6,000 adjustment of status cases a week for employment-based people. Keeping in mind, they only have 280,000 cases pending for employment-based cases. So they have to adjudicate 6,000. That is like more than they normally do on any given time, but they did do in September. So will they keep it up? Because what happened is they did those and they ignored everything else. How about they stop interviewing people on EAD, employment-based cases? That would solve a problem. So Glenn, it would be very helpful. It would be very helpful for EB3. And for that reason, I hope it does help. Mahesh, good to see you. Sardash, Tahir Hamad Agha. Hello, dear. I sent documents. You call me dear? Before 3 months, okay, see my case is current for November. Why case not me? Because Sardash, if you're DV 2022, they haven't interviewed anybody. It'll be interesting to see if they move the dates. Remember, Charlie Oppenheim is now gone, although he has written the December visa bulletin. He told the world. Will the dates move again? Because they shouldn't move dates if they're not interviewing anybody, right? So we'll see. Sounds like you're going to be one of our plaintiffs in January. Diana Diaz, well, Charles, I've got almost a month since my doc expired. I have the U.S. my application still be active. You don't anything back in trouble. No, you're fine, Diana. You're fine because they will approve you. That'll be retroactive. But I would suggest that you contact, if you're in Georgia, contact Senator Warnock or Senator Ossoff's office. They're U.S. senators. They can help you push that through. If you're not in Georgia, call your U.S. senator's office and get help from constituent services. They tend to have a little extra ability to reach back and find out what's going on. Joe Buccini, can you comment on DV 2020 at the end of this very comfortable time? Thank you, Joe. Thank you. I love you too, Joe. I love the show. It's fun to do the show. DV 2020 is just there. They're going to appeal it, I'm sure. And because if they appealed Gomez, Good Luck, why wouldn't they appeal Gomez and Go? It's all the same issue. They have to appeal them all. So they're not going to be adjudicating these cases. Now, that said, they're required to give a report to the judge by January 31st about what they've done. If they go back to them and say, we've done nothing, I think judges we'll ask to hold them in contempt. You just can't ignore the process. It's illegal, really. And I expected more from the Biden administration. Excuse me, but I did. Liz, is the state's request a FOIA the person is currently, but was part of a Yes, it is, Liz. I've done it for 30 years. And I will tell you, when we do a FOIA for a client who's got a deportation warrant and concerns like yours, we use our address as the address so that nobody knows where you live. So we do that. Now, keep in mind, of course, everybody, that if you want to make a consult, just right there, you call that number right there, Si quieres una consulta, llama a este número. Estamos aquí todo el día. También estamos online por sus consultas. Si quiere fijar un tiempo online, we also are online on our website. If you want to make an appointment, you can do that directly on our website. And I'll see if I can find that. I'd like to put that up because if you can do one on our website and you can click right here, that would be just totally cool, wouldn't it? Let's see what we got here from our website. Let's see if the internet's working. And schedule an appointment. Look at that. There is right at the bottom of this. We're going to put a little banner here if you want to set an appointment. You can do that right here. Boom. You can contact us right at the bottom, set an appointment, choose who you want to meet with, and we're good to go. We're good to go on that. Awesome. Let's go back to some of our comments here. Let's see. Sahil, if it takes 60 votes over the chair, it does not take 60 votes to take something out of a bill. Well, the chair has to rule it in order. So that's why that's 60 votes. No, I think you're wrong, Sahil. The way I've both read it and had explained to me by a United States Senator personally is that as long as Harris rules it in order, then it takes 60 votes to take it out. Okay? A parliamentarian does not control whether something has been in the bill. It really advises. There is, my understanding is a zero chance that Harris will agree with the parliamentarians' advice on this issue. So that's why it takes 60 votes to keep it out, to get it out of the bill. But good points, good points. Let's see. Puya, is the government going to appeal to whatever comes their way? Department of State appears to be doing that. That appears to the Department of State is doing. Kaushi, if you are government qualified, this is not going to KCC again. Well, no, you do not. Berta Sanles, abogado plan C, si pasa una persona con orden de deportación a los americanos, pero no cuenta con chance para perdón, ¿qué debería hacer esta persona? Debe obtener el parol que están ofreciendo, el permiso, salir, reentrar, pedir un perdón de la deportación, porque no tendría que tener perdón al consulado, tendría que tener un perdón del orden de deportación y podrá arreglar aquí en los Estados Unidos. Berta, de eso te ayudaría. Libby, Mr. Cook, feliz por verlos, ustedes lo máximo. Gracias, Libby. Libby, me voy a Perú. Oh, una ceviche sería chévere. ¿Dónde vives, Libby? Vengo con mi esposa. Llegamos el sábado en el vuelo de 5 de la mañana. Es mejor que llegar de medianoche. Y iremos al hotel, ducharemos, descansaremos y estaremos listos para gozar Lima el sábado. Allá. Antonio, good to see you, bud. Look at that smile of that guy. That's a handsome man and an excellent human being, by the way. Excellent human being, great lawyer. Recuerda enviar tus preguntas. No se te olvide. Tenemos Navidad con Cook Baxter este año. Navidad, donde regalamos casos gratis. Escríbanos con su caso y la razón que usted merece recibir este regalo. Any news about visa recapture rollover on family-based side, other than that there are no visas roll over from employment. They disappear. They disappear because of the math. The math is that Congress has allocated 465,000 immigrant visas every year to family, minus immediate relatives. Every year there's more than 465,000 immediate relatives. So Congress set a base of 225. So there's never going to be more than the base. That's just math, and that's why we fought so hard for these numbers, because they go away. Berta, plan C, if applies, but I already answered. Te contesté en español. Usted es Libby. Usted es Libby, eres la misma. Afzal, good to see you. Good to see you. Zilola, Rasulova, how are you? Which is RTV 2020? They're excellent. I mean, well, let me say this. So the government, we filed a motion with the court. The government just opposed yesterday, saying we didn't ask them about this, which is, of course, a lie. Of course, it's a lie. And so I just sent it today, saying, you guys are lying. Do you want to change your story? And we're going to reply to that this week. So that'll be that. These are greetings from Albania. I wanted you to know how I will distribute visas for us, whether there are view visas and workplaces. I don't know. Maskut. I don't know how they will distribute visas, and that's why we're not involved in distribution of visas. What can we expect of V2020 expired visas? We can expect, hopefully, the judge will rule in our favor, but I just don't know. If I will come to the U.S. via Mexico, can I change my interview to U.S. migration from U.S. Embassy of Georgia? Well, first of all, if you come illegally to the U.S., you lose all your rights. Do not ever come illegally to the United States. Do not do it. You will not be able to immigrate. There are no embassies in Georgia. Georgia's a state. It's not a country. Unless you're in the country of Georgia, you go to Georgia, go to the Republic of Georgia, you can change your case to there, but do not come illegally. Please do not do it. Stop it. Pang, I got my green card for my mother's marriage to a U.S. citizen. Marriage didn't work out. I think do I have a way to renew my green card against citizen? Yeah. I mean, Pang, if you got a conditional green card, were the conditions removed? If they were, at 5 years, you apply for citizenship. If they weren't removed and it was a good faith marriage, then you're still going to be okay. Sounds like you need a lawyer. That's what it sounds like to me. So you should definitely be picking up the phone, making a phone call, talk to yours truly, or you should be going online, making an appointment with us. All right, that's what you should be doing, is what I think you should be doing. All right, Pang. Mahesh, do you have any idea regarding immigrants who come after 2011? They have plan for? There's no plan for them, Mahesh. None. Nada. That's one of the many failures of this bill. Pang's been here since you're not going anywhere. You're make an appointment. We'll deal with it and fix you up. Abogado, ¿qué está pasando con DACA? ¿Darán residencia? Todavía no, Lara. No están haciendo nada por los con DACA. Lo siento. Pang, there you go. Pang's going to give us a call. Síguenos en TikTok. Hey, tenemos un TikTok, donde puntan así y, hagan esto. Bien chistoso, ¿no? Bien chistoso. Pero no estoy bailando y no estoy cantando y no estoy hablando con otra voz. Así no es. Giovanita, ¿qué es de cierto del permiso que están agarrando muchos a los 22 años aquí? Giovanita, no es cierto. Es un abuso del sistema. La ley dice, si estás en deportación y tienes 10 años y niños nacidos aquí y buen carácter y sus niños sufren extraordinariamente, puede pedir por la cancelación de deportación. Pero no es un regalo por esconder por 10 años. Eso es mentirosos que pongan esto. Eli Square, Peruvian meeting. Eli, there's a meeting following the business conference. The word is going to go out on that shortly, and you will have more information. Jessica, if you're watching this, put information up about this, about the individual meeting. That'll be great. Is Kelly Nakato. Hi. For those who come here legally overstay with a paper tag, no career, wait for the file of their green card. Yes, if you fall in love with a beautiful American woman or a handsome American man, nobody cares. You do whatever you want to do. We love them. We love you anyway. Or you have kids who are 21. And that's it. That's all there is. There's nothing else. There's nothing. And over 60% of people here undocumented, in fact, came legally. Hi, how take it time? It's someone. How long take it time? I don't know who someone is. I don't know what we're taking time for, nor what it is. So sorry I can't answer your question, Afzal. I do want to thank everyone coming on 30 minutes here. Thank everybody for their time today. Irisa, go back to the beginning. We talked about DV 2021. Still pending. We'll wait and see what happens. But we sure appreciate you guys. Remember, you want an appointment? You want to talk to me? Talk to any of my partners? You call the number of below. Si quieren una cita, estamos aquí. La semana siguiente estoy de una vacación. Mi primera vacación en 1 año y medio. Una semanita nomás en mi amado Perú. ¡Que viva! Y estaremos gozando de ese tiempo y regresando la semana siguiente. Yo les veré en 2 semanas. Gracias a todos por asistir hoy día. Thank you, everybody, for coming today. I'll be back in 2 weeks because next week I'm taking my first vacation in 1.5 years to enjoy my beloved Peru. We're looking forward, my wife and I are forward, and we'll be celebrating our 37th wedding anniversary in the country in which we met. Omar, I'm going to answer Omar's question real quick. I currently have DACA as here to liability. Yes, you will. 100%, you will be fine. Any DACA person who got their DACA before 18 and a half, your employer can sponsor you for a green card. Your spouse can sponsor you for a green card. I mean, yes. What are you waiting for? All right. How long to end the EB3 process just started? If you're not from India, 2.5 to 3 years. If you're from India, a long time. All right, everybody. Thank you very much. Have a great day.